Louis Nigel once said, "A man who works with his hands is a laborer. A man who works with his hands and his brain is a craftsman. But a man who works with his hands and his brain and his heart is an artist." Art often tells of stories we already know, of royalty, of war, and of power. We walk through galleries filled with portraits of the same kinds of people, and we walk through museums and you'll find images of kings and saints and war heroes. You'll see bodies painted in that Renaissance light over and over again, but mostly the same kind of bodies told by the same kind of hands. But sometimes art does something different. Sometimes it shows us the quiet, tender lives we didn't realize were missing from the walls of the galleries. That's where Salman Tour comes in. Today we honor an artist who paints what was once invisible and makes it unforgettable. There are few who can stand before his work and walk away unaffected. He is an artist, not simply by title, but in the truest sense. He is unapologetic, he's courageous, and his art is profoundly human. Salman Tour was born in Lahore, Pakistan in 1983, and he moved to the US to study paintings, earning a degree from Ohio Wesleyan University and a master's at Pratt Institute. He is now based in New York City, and he has emerged as one of the most exciting painters of his generation, with his work shown at Venice Biennale, the Whitney Museum, and in galleries around the world. He has lived between cultures, between expectations, and in doing so, he has carved out a new visual language all of his own. At first glance, his paintings echo the styles of European masters like Caravaggio and Van Dyck. The soft glow, the drama, the richness, it's all there. But instead of myth or monarchies, his brush turned to lovers at dusk, immigrants in waiting room, friends in the back of cabs. Tour art answers a question we didn't know we were asking. What does it look like to be young, brown, queer, and invisible? His subjects are often men who look like him, like his friends, captured in scenes of ordinary life. They're dancing in nightclubs, they're video chatting with their mothers, they're being searched by custom agents, they're loving, longing, laughing, or simply just existing. That's the heart of his work. His paintings are imagined scenes, but they are grounded in real emotions, real memories, and real fears. He gives visibility to the kind of affection and tenderness that are rarely allowed to be seen, especially for queer men of color. There's also darkness found in his paintings. He doesn't shy away from fear, from loneliness, from the threat of violence. Hate lingers on the edge of some of his paintings. In this painting, we have a man who has been searched by customs. His items are strewn on a table, and he looks down and is vulnerable to have his life exposed like this. But Tour has called this act of painting this fear therapeutic. It's how he reclaims the narrative. For those who have lived at the intersections of identity, whether it's immigrant, queer, brown, or simply just other, his work offers a rare feeling, recognition. And for those who haven't, it offers a window into experiences that are incredibly tender, human, and real. He simply paints life as it is, messy, tender, joyful, and uncertain at times. His works are radical because they are ordinary. They are revolutionary because they feel familiar. Critics have called his style queer rococo, and that fits. It's elegant, it's lush, and it's deeply human. In many ways, he inserts himself into his community, into a visual lineage that has long excluded them. He reminds us, belonging doesn't always look neat. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's uncertain, but it's still worthy of being seen. One of his paintings, For Friends, sold at Sotheby's for $1.5 million in 2022, more than triple the estimated value. But his impact isn't just in the market, It's in the way his work opened doors for others, for queer artists, for South Asian artists, for immigrants, and for anyone who's ever felt like an outsider looking in to the art world. Art can shock, art can confront, but the art that endures, the art we carry in our heart, is the kind that sees us. Simon Toole works sees people who has too often been erased, and in doing so, he has shown us what is possible. So today, we don't just celebrate an artist. We celebrate a truth teller. We celebrate a risk taker. We celebrate a storyteller of the quiet revolutions happening in our bedrooms, in the airports, and in whispered phone calls between friends. A man who paints with his hands, his mind, and most powerfully, his heart.